Adobe Dimension makes it easy for Adobe Illustrator users to truly visualize their creations. You see how adding assets you create in Illustrator, including a logo and pattern, to branding collateral in Adobe Dimension, allows you to visualize what it will look like in real life, making 3D design simple. In Adobe Illustrator, I've created a few versions of a logo, each on a separate artboard, and some visualized text to go along with it, as well as several patterns, all to be used. And for the brand collateral pieces in Adobe Dimension, back in Adobe Dimension, you can open this cosmetic branding start file for the practice file if you want to follow along. You can see there are series of 3D models already on the canvas for a cosmetic product line. Some with the logo and pattern already applied. You add another model and then add logo and the pattern to it. From the starter assets panel on the left, where you can see a lot of assets that come with Dimension. Scroll down and drag this tall box into your design. Placing it here. Now, to resize the box, select the Scale tool on the left. You can also press the letter S to switch to it. Pressing the Shift key, drag here to make it smaller. Now, to rotate it, select the Rotate tool on the left. You can press the letter R to access that as well. And drag the screen on Y value. You can select the Move tool again to press the letter V. And drag the box into position. Now, if you look in the scene panel, you can see a layering and all the contents in the scene, including the new box. From this panel, you can hide and show content, as well as lock content in your scene. Come out to the artwork, and you're going to start by setting the material on this box. So double click the box to see the properties for it on the right. To change the color of the box, you can click the properties swatch here. And with color selected, you could apply a color. Now, instead of applying a color to the box, because we have a pattern we can use, you can also apply content from Illustrator as a material. So select the image, then click the photo icon, and navigate to the Pattern AI file from the downloadable assets. Click Open and the patterns apply. Now, to select the right artboard from the Illustrator CC file, so you can choose a pattern. Choose the artboard from the menu here. You should see the pattern applied. After you apply it, you will see the series of options like repeat and position that You can now set for the pattern to make it just right. Click away from the menu to hide it, and the box is also deselected. Next, you add the Illustrator logo to the box. You can do this by copying and pasting content right from Illustrator onto a selected model, or importing an Illustrator file. Double-click the box and to edit the properties again, to place a graphic on it like a logo. Click the Place Graphic on Model bottom and in the Actions section here. In the dialog box that opens, select the logo AI file from the practice file you downloaded. To embed it in this document, then click Open. Once the logo is on the box, you can rotate the logo by dragging here. To scale it, press the Shift key and drag any of these points. I'll make it a little bit larger. You can also position it where you want by dragging it in the middle of the logo to move it. Now, because it was imported as an Illustrator file, you can select which logo to use by choosing the correct artboard from the Illustrator file right here in Dimension. In the Properties panel, to try one of these alternate logos, click the image swatch to see the logo. Then choose another artboard from the menu here to apply it. Now, suppose you're looking at the logo and you realize you need to make some changes in Illustrator. You can either click this pencil icon, or you can double-click the logo thumbnail to open it directly in Illustrator. You can see the layered content now in Illustrator to make any changes necessary. I will change the color. To end, then save the file. Return to Adobe Dimension, you should see the logo change. Next, you add another graphic to the box. So you can add some text that was stylized in Illustrator. To double-click the box, to select it again. And in the Scene panel, you can see what you already applied. First graphic and the material. Now, to add another graphic, click the Place Graphic on Model button. Navigate to the Lesson Files and select the Logo AI document one more time. The text is in the file. It's on a different artboard in the logo document. So, to choose a different artboard, click the Properties swatch and choose the artboard from here. You can now come out of the graphic and adjust it so it's just right. With the content in place, you can now do some things like adjusting the overall lighting of the scene. In the Scene panel, to show everything again, click the arrow here, and then click environment so you can adjust the lighting. You can then make some lighting in the properties panel down here. Now, there are other lighting adjustments you can set, like sunlight. Click the arrow to show the options for sunlight. If they are already showing, and make sure the option is selected. You can then make some other adjustments. With the scene ready, you can render or create a final image. So click Render in the upper left corner to switch to render mode. In the render setting on the right, you can configure your final rendered file. You can select which view to render. In this case, the current view will work fine. You can set the file name, you can change the quality. Know that low, fast takes less time to render but doesn't look as good. You can choose a location to save the file. And finally, choose the format. You can either choose a PSD, 16 bits / channel to get a layer file, which you can then add it in Photoshop, or you can select the render as a PNG or both. After choosing a format, click Render and know that depending on the design content and the render setting you set. This time will take to render may vary. Thanks to the ease of the editing capabilities, Adobe Dimension gives Illustrator user the ability to visualize product shots, package designs, branding, collateral, and unique digital images.